I would like to greet all guests and organizers of this forum. My name is A.Abdrakhmanova. I am a head of the Tatarstan Independence Committee, Vice President of the Anti-Imperial Bloc of Nations, and a member of the Free Nation League. First, I would like to briefly introduce you to my homeland, Tatarstan. The Republic of Tatarstan is a patch of territory that was violently conquered in 1552 by Ivan the Terrible. At the time, a large portion of the male population was killed, while women and children were taken captive. Since then, the Tatar people have been struggling to restore their statehood. And despite nearly 500 years of occupation, we still exist. We remember our identity, we know who we are, and we are not Russian. One of the most active periods in recent decades when Tatars came close to gaining independence was early 1990s. In 1990, Tatarstan adopted a Declaration of Independence. In 1992, an international referendum was held, attended by foreign diplomats and politicians. Its results were recorded by the US Helsinki Commission. The Republic also adopted its own constitution. However, Moscow and Yeltsin, truce, intimidation, threat of aggression, and the use of military force halted the process. The desire for independence and the restoration of statehood is only merely a wish. It is a condition for the survival of our people as a nation. In recent years, the activities of national liberation movements have taken on new forms and gained international significance. These included speech in Europa Parliament, representation of various nations of Parliament Assembly, discussion about creating a dedicated platform for captive nation, only captive nation, presentation of reports at the United Nations, participate on the Crimea platform and under our. This is why we perceive a serious threat to the existence of Russia. Criminal cases initiated against us, real prison sentences imposed via label as foreign agents. Pressure is exerted on our relative and even attempts made on our lives. Today, many countries are living in a state close to pre-war condition in the face of a threat posed by Russia. For example, Germany has adopted a defense strategy for the first time since Second World War, in which Russia is identified as the primary threat in Europe. In Lithuania, our rate alarms frequently hit. I personally experienced one in December last year. In Sweden, similar alerts are also occurring. Russia has violated the airspace of Denmark, where we are currently located today. Estonia is seriously assessing the risk of a potential invasion of its territory. Why I'm saying this? Because we argue and provide evidence that the decolonization of Russia is the only viable path to a peaceful future for Eurasia and Europe. Yet Russia claims without ground that such a process won't lead to a global catastrophe. But is what Ukraine, NATO countries, and their allies experience today not already a global catastrophe? This is a time when countries are searching for reliable allies and partners. We are not seeking sympathy or pity. We are seeking partners and allies to eliminate our shared threat, Russia and its endless chauvinist wars, expansion and aggression. I would like to emphasize that so-called good Russian, bad Russian, should not be legitimize it. We have not right to speak on behalf of our national republics. A mere change of regime in Moscow is not enough for us. No shot will be allowed to mislead Western politicians on again truth manipulation. A resolution that superficially includes the right of peoples to self-determination and merely wordplay. This right is already enshrined in the UN declaration, and we do not approve it from Russian liberals. If they were to formally commit to non-interference in the affairs of national republics, militarily, politically, and economically during a process of decolonization, that might be of some interest to us. However, the historical experience of our people shows the agreement with them cannot be trusted. Therefore, we oppose the West supporting them as the only legitimate alternative to power. We must draw on the lessons of the past in order to minimize risk and make this process as controlled as possible. Already now, we need to shape a vision of a future in which the decolonization of Russia is not seen as something unrealistic. This process requires strategic planning, foresight, and decided action. Together with our international partners and Europe as well, we must not allow Russia to continue to dominate and control our lands. Many thanks. Slava Ukraini!